Welcome, one and all, to Eyeshield 21. That's right, today we are going to be looking at some Eyeshield 21 games. Interestingly enough, we are going to be looking at every single Eyeshield 21 video game. All of them. All 5 games. Only 5, but that's to be expected. The anime originally ran for a fairly long time. I've watched the anime, I've recently finished watching it, and I thought I'd have a look at some Eyeshield 21 video games. I thoroughly enjoyed the anime, so let's crack in and look into these Eyeshield 21 video games. Let's go! So, the very first Eyeshield 21 game was released for the PlayStation 2. Not surprisingly, it's not surprising. We've got here Eyeshield 21, AmeFoot, Yarouze, Yaha! Yeah, I like the Yaha in the title, that's cool. But yeah, it's developed and published by Konami, as Konami did back in those days. They just ate up all of, they took all the anime licenses, just make loads of anime games, interestingly enough, actually, from the looks of things, the license must have been split up between Konami and Nintendo, because Konami, they made some games, and Nintendo made some games, so obviously, like I said, we're going to look at them. So yeah, so the PS2 game, it starts from the beginning of the series, not surprising. It's very dialogue heavy, but again, anime games generally are, that aren't fighting games. They generally are quite dialogue heavy. From what I can tell, the game tries to achieve gameplay similar to something like Madden, like what you would know from an American football game, from an NFL game. It seems to try and replicate it, but try and have its own kind of spin on it, which is cool. That's fine. I only managed to play a little bit of the game, because obviously a lot of the dialogue. But one thing I will say that really stands out to me personally is the graphics. The graphics are horrible. And I know you're probably thinking, hey, come on, cut it some slack. No, this game came out in 2005. 2005. Look at the graphics on this. They are horrific. The graphics look like an early 2001 PlayStation 2 game, not a 2005 PlayStation 2 game. So I gotta cut some points away from that. Overall, though, it seems okay. Again, as with all of these games. It's too bad you don't understand Japanese. But I tell you what I'll do in this video. I'll go over and say, can you pick up and play it or not? Let's just go with that. Can we pick up and play it and just get on with it or not? I'd say this one's a bit realistically no, because the tutorial is in Japanese and it's kind of hard to understand what you're supposed to do. But I guess if you played enough of it, maybe then you'd know what you're doing. But I can't recommend it at the moment. The second game on this list is a Nintendo DS game. I forgot to mention that literally every single Eyeshield 21 game, just so you know, is on a different platform. And I'm not joking here. The first game's on the PS2, second on the DS, third on the PSP, fourth on the GBA, and the final game, fifth and final game, on the Wii. Every single game's on a different system. That's something new. You don't normally see that. But yes, the second game is a DS game, and that game is Eyeshield 21 Max Devil Power. And yeah, it's definitely something. I will tell you this, it's got a very good pick up and play vibe about it. You can pick it up and play it, no problem. Take a little while to get used to it, I will admit, because the gameplay is pretty much quick time events. That's what the gameplay is. It's pretty much you gotta use the stylus to, again, I'm playing on emulator, but work with me here. Use the stylus to pinpoint where you want to go. I want to grab the ball there. I want to, I need to move the character to that direction. Blah blah blah, and then. So yeah, the story starts from the beginning, just like with the previous game, because I guess the first was Konami, this is Nintendo. So, but the thing is, with the QTEs, you have to be very precise and very quick with them. I missed them a lot, and it's difficult, because of that reason. It's just, I think after a while you get used to it, and that's the thing this has got going for it. It has got to pick up and play, where you could probably just get used to the game while playing the game, unlike with the previous one. But I will say it's not very beginner friendly in terms of going into it. But then again, most Japanese exclusive games tend to be, well, Japanese anime games tend to be quite a steep learning curve. Anyway, on to the next game. The third game on the list is Eyeshield 21 Portable Edition for obviously the PSP. Now, this is the last Sony Konami Eyeshield 21 game, and it's a bit of a strange one. It kind of is like mini games most of the time. Now, as you can probably see here, so you select these like training regime for the DevilBats, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. As you can see in the footage, I'm like putting down what they're going to be doing, what they're going to be training, and etc. etc. And then you actually do it. But when you actually do the training, it's like this. Boom! You got Hiruma here doing a mini game, a passing mini game. And all of them are like that. All of the mini games are like that. I don't know if the later game is any different, but this is what the game is from what I played of it. Which means there's not really much to say about it. It looks like it's a sequel in comparison to maybe the PS2 game in terms of story, anyway. But it is pretty much a collection of mini games. Here's one with Monta catching bulls. You know, I never got past the mini game factor, so maybe there's a proper game somewhere down the line, but who knows? I know, 20 minutes in, you're still doing mini games, so who knows? Maybe you do this to train up your characters before you go into the main game. Who knows? Anyway, I didn't really think much of this one, again, just because of the mini games. It hasn't got much of a pick up and play factor. It has in terms of the mini games. They're really simple, but in my opinion, like if you pick up and played this, you'd probably get bored within the first like I did within 20 minutes, just because it's all mini games. And then you start to think, is this actually the whole game? You know. So anyway, let's move on to the next game. The next game I have the least to say about out of all of the games so far. And that's Eyeshield 21 DevilBats DevilDays for the Game Boy Advance. It's a visual novel. It's obviously completely in Japanese. Visual novel. With apparently, I didn't get to any, but I found out that has a few interactive mini games thrown in between. Apparently there's like 8 possible endings as well, or something along those lines. I remember reading online. Again, it's just what I found online. But there, yeah, it's a visual novel, which means it being completely in Japanese, I don't understand a word. So yeah, I can kind of get gist of what's happening because I've seen the show. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. It's a visual novel. If you like visual novels, cool. But if you don't speak Japanese, you ain't gonna be able to play it. That's that simple. Here we are at the final game, the final Eyeshield 21 game. Released on the Nintendo Wii, and a sequel, in my opinion, to the Nintendo DS games, because Nintendo DS game, as the gameplay is very similar, and that's Eyeshield 21 Field Saikyou no Senshi Tachi. I'm butchering these names, by the way. At least some of them are in English. At least some of the names are in English. So, yeah. It's basically a sequel, in my opinion, because the gameplay is extremely similar to that of Max Devil Power on the Nintendo DS. And it's probably the only half-decent game out of the lot, if I be completely honest. You know, it's much, much more forgiving on the QTEs in this game than it is on the DS game. And I find that also on this game, it's a lot more in-depth, there's a bit more to it than it had on the DS game. It's interesting where this game starts as well. It starts at one of the matches against Shin and that, if I remember correctly. And you got the boss of the leader of the Zaku Chameleon team, have to pick up Senna and take him there. I can't even remember why Senna was somewhere else. I think he got lost or something along those lines. Anyway. But yeah, the graphics look good. It's the last Eyeshield 21 game. The QTs are fine. I think it plays fine. I think, it's a very, very easy pick up and play. This is probably the easiest one to pick up and play out of all of them. If you got a chance to play any of the Eyeshield 21 games, this is the one I would go for. Obviously, it's got motion controls because the Wii remote and that. And yeah, I had a bit of trouble, but then again, I'm playing on an emulator with a bunch of setup that, Bluetooth thing for the Wii remote. We've got Wii Motion Plus, but a Bluetooth thing for that. I've got actual USB sensor bar to, you know, play it all properly. But it's, you know, maybe my setup may not work as completely 100%. But on the Wii, it may work absolutely fine. So I gotta say, if you're gonna play any Eyeshield 21 game, this is the one you want to play. This is the one. Anyway, that's all the Eyeshield 21 games.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that is every single one of the Eyeshield 21 games that have been released. Every single one. Yeah, we've done them all. We've gone through them all. The best one of the lot, gotta be the Wii game. Definitely 100% down. Gotta be the Wii game. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this look at some Eyeshield 21 video games. Just keep in mind when you watch this video, it's how casual. You know, we're just chilling here talking about these Eyeshield 21 games. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe. Let me know your experience with Eyeshield 21. I'd love to hear what you thought of it. Did you watch the anime? Did you read the manga? What did you think of it overall? Did you enjoy it? Were there bits and pieces that you didn't enjoy? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, I've been Bio, and I'll see you in the next video.